What's up, Changers family? Today we're going to be playing, we're going to be doing something a little different, just a little different. It's not a little different, I already done one, but we're doing a creepypasta again. I hope you really like these, and today's one is the Rake. The Rake. T-H-E-R-A-K-E. Yes. Alright, let's get started. During the summer of 2003, events in northern eastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparkled breeze. Local media interested before an apparent blackout was enacted. Little or no information was left intact, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused in rural New York State and once found in Ohio, self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin emotes. Range from extremely traumatic levels of fright and discomfort and to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiously white. While their published versions are no longer on record, the memories remain powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, the collaboration had I can't speak today. Nearly 24 documents dating between the 12th century and present day, spanning 4 continents. In almost all cases, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book, A Suicide 1964. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act, and is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form. Once again awoke and heard his voice, and looked into my eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye. Found in the same wooden box were 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rose, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. Dearest Lenny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. A journal entry translated from Spanish, 1880. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are hollow black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand, I will not sleep. His voice, unintelligible text. So it's like, that was kind of like a song. Chicken juicers. It's a creepypasta, so. It's a creepypasta, guys. It's a creepypasta. A Mariner's Log. 1691, he came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again. At the request of the Rake. From a witness, 2006. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip from Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids right to bed and called it a night. At about 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband had gotten up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets only to wake him in process. I apologized and told him I thought he got out of bed when he turned to face me and gasped and pulled his feet up from the end of the bed so quickly his knee almost knocked me out of the bed. He then grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the dark for a half second, chicken juice is a half second, I was able to see what caused a strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, sitting and facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man or a large hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him. My husband was peering over his arm and near, tucked into the fetal position, occasionally glanced at me before returning the creature. In a flurry motion, the creature scrambled around the side of bed and then crawled quickly in a flaring sort of motion right along the bed until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds, or probably closer to 5. It just seemed like a while. Yeah, sometimes things seem like a while. Just looking. Hey, Duke, stop. Stop, Mr. Fister. Yeah. Just looking at my husband, the creature then placed its hand on his knee and ran into the hallway leading to the kids' room. I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he hurt my children. When I got to the hallway, the light from my bedroom was enough to see it crouching and hunched over. About 20 feet away, he turned around and looked directly at me. Covered in blood, I flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter, Clara. Wow. The creature ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, "He is the Rake." Well, the Rake is pretty scary, guys. If you actually think about it. The creature ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very... Oh, I already read that. My husband drove his car into a lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. They did not survive. Wow. Sad. Those are sad. Being a small town news around pretty quickly. The police were helpful at first, and the local newspaper took a lot of interest as well. However, the story was never published, and the local television news never followed up either. Well, that's really creepy. Really creepy. For several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house. After we decided to return home, I began looking for answers myself. Eventually, located a man in the next town who had a similar story. We got in contact and began talking about our experiences. He knew of 2 other people in New York who had seen the creature we now referred to as the Rake. Comment down below what you would do chicken juices if you saw. If you saw this, I'd be creeped out. Chicken juices, I'd be creeped out. It took the 4 of us about 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believe to be accounts of the Rake. None of them gave any details, history, or follow-up. One journal had an entry involving the creature in its first 3 pages, and never mentioned it again. A ship's log explained nothing of the encounter, saying only that they were told to leave by the Rake. That was the last entry in the log. There were, however, many instances where the creature's visit was one of a series of visits with the same person. Multiple people also mentioned being spoken to. My daughter included. This led us to wonder if the Rake had visited any of us before our last encounter. Wow. I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night. Every night for 2 weeks, it would tediously scan through the sound of me rolling around my bed each day when I woke up. By the end of the 2nd week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleep while burning through the recording at 8 times the normal speed. This still took almost an hour every day. On the first day of the 3rd week, I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice. It was the Rake. I can't listen to it long enough to even begin to transcribe it. I didn't even know that was the word, transcribe. I know it's not translate, because TRAN and then SCRIBE, transcribe. I haven't let anyone listen to it yet. All I know is that I've heard it before. And now I believe that it spoke when it was sitting in front of my husband. I don't remember hearing anything at the time, but for some reason, the voice on the recorder immediately brings me back to that moment. The thought that must have gone through my daughter's head make me very upset. I have not seen the Rake since he ruined my life, but I know that he has been in my room while I slept. I know and fear that one night I'll wake up to see him staring at me. Yep, and that's the Chicken Juices. Thank you for tuning in, Chicken Juices. Yeah, and some molasses. that like button. Don't hit like a baby. Hit like you're a grown-up and you do karate just like me. And yes. And yes. And yes. You cannot forget to smash that subscribe button and post that notification bell so you never miss a new video that I upload like this one. And bye. Bye, Ching Deuces.